What's going on, everybody, and welcome to the Other Side of the Firewall podcast, where we talk about the latest and greatest of cybersecurity news, as well as we highlight those movers and shakers and glass ceiling breakers, those people of color who made it to the other side of the proverbial firewall. My name is Ryan Williams, and as always, I'm joined by Shannon.
What's up? What's up?
What's going on? So, welcome to Monday's episode. I already lost count of the episodes, so we're somewhere around 510 ish. But we are definitely over 500. So thank you all for tuning in. Again, our cadence for the week is Monday, Tuesday, our topics, Wednesday, discussion. Thursdays will be a throwback or Ask Us SP. This week will be a throwback. And then Fridays, everything else, movies, books, games, all that good stuff. Without further ado, I'll give it to Shannon.
All right, everybody. This article comes from cybernews.com, written by Stephanie Shepard, and is titled Henry Schein Ransom Saga, now in third month. Hackers show no mercy. So we've talked about this before, right? These hackers going in, double, triple dipping. They don't like the way the negotiations are going. They're going to keep going at you. Well, that's what's happening with Henry Schein, right? So they're a healthcare technology and product distribution company. And they haven't been able to restore business operations since their ransomware attack on October 15th. So we're now in December. This happened in October, and they're still negotiating with these hackers, and it's just going farther and farther downhill, right? So yeah, Alpha V, BlackCat, right? We've already talked about them before, right? They in it to win it now, you know what I'm saying? But like with them, I want to say in this article, it said that they were like in 2022, they were, what was it, like 21% of the attacks or something like that? I got to find this again. Like when I read it, I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, they're taking over.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of it just from this one group. But again, we talked about this before with the ransomware as a service, right? So it's not even like they're just doing it themselves. They're allowing for other groups to come to them and say, hey, this is what we want to do. And they're just like, sure, you pay this much, you know what I mean? And we'll continue to assist, whether it be through tools, through manning, whatever it may be. I don't even know exactly how that works, right? Like if they do, like when you say as a service, is it like if we need to go to Microsoft and say, hey, this is what we need from you, they're like, yeah, we could do that. We provide the personnel, this, that, and the third. I don't know how they do it with hackers. It's probably the same model.
Right. Yeah, the forums as well as help desk support. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's illegitimate, but it's illegitimate. They're running they're running a real business.
Yeah, like legitimate illegitimacy. I don't know. I don't know what you would
Yeah.
call that. You know what I mean? But same thing, right? Ransomware is a service. So they're getting it in. They're doing what they need to do. But like what's kind of disturbing to me is that this company, like with all the information that's been put out there, and they keep putting more out there, right? Like they keep proving. They're like, all right, well, the negotiations aren't going our way. Here's what we have. You know what I mean? Like this is what we're going to show everybody that we got, and they keep doing it. They're like, okay, here's more information. Here's more information. There's more information, right? So they're looking at and what they've quoted in this article, right? Um, when you're dealing with alpha, this is why you probably shouldn't make this happen, right? They're saying they had over 2 months of operational losses totaling over $500 million US. I was like, wow. When I saw that, I was like, okay. Like at what point is it like, all right, you gotta just cut your losses and just do something different, right? Because like eventually it's gonna get to a point where they're like, okay, we got more leverage. We want more than what we said before, right? So they have 35 terabytes of sensitive information that they've infiltrated from this company. And like I said, they're putting it out there, right? They're like, hey, you guys don't want to pay what we want. To not release this information, well, here it is, right? So at this point, like I gotta ask myself, at this point, is it worth it at all, right? Since they're just gonna keep releasing more stuff, like, all right, put it all out there and it'll all be been for naught. You know what I mean? Like, why are you paying them at this point?
Right.
It seems like to me, right? You already know they got the names, the addresses, contact info. Even like suppliers that are working for the company, like they even have their checking bank accounts, right? So like at this point, why even put forth the money to try to get some of this stuff back, right? Like it's out there. Once it gets out there on the world wide webs, there's no taking it back. You know what I'm saying? So um, we've talked about this on the show numerous times about negotiating with these ransomware groups, man, and this is what you get from it. Like even if you do negotiate in good faith, if it's not to their liking, like we did this a few weeks ago, we talked about how they'll still release the data, right? It doesn't matter. So at what point does it at what point is the juice no longer worth the squeeze? You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know the numbers. I don't know the numbers for sure, and I don't know if we, when it was reported before, if we had the numbers of what they were asking for, and that might be confidential, right? Because Henry Schein probably doesn't want to put it out there either. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is what we paid, but this is just the BlackCat ransomware gang. Like they out here just making people look foolish, man. Like they're all over the place, but uh they're putting all this information out there, and they're telling them, they're like, look, uh the partners for Henry Schein include Walmart, Pfizer, UC Health, MedStar, First Health, and Albertsons. You know what I mean? So it's like these are big names that they're dealing with. So at some point, it's just like, all right, well, we're taking the loss. Let's just go ahead and just keep moving on, right? To get better protection. Let's invest the money this time, right? To do what needs to be done so that we could try to prevent this in the future. And I'm not saying anything's 100%, but at this point, it just seems like a loss to me. You know what I mean? Why keep going forward with it? But Ryan, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. It's never worth paying, but in this case, it's pretty much a total loss. So if anything, um, I don't know. It's like when I put it in the chat, I was like, it's like Bizarro World, right? It's the bad guys are taking the high road. They're saying like, hey, um, they're not professional. They're not giving us the money. They're not meeting our demands. They're putting you all at jeopardy because we have X, Y, and Z. It's like Stockholm syndrome, right? Like for the people who are on Alv's side, like, yeah, pay them. Like, no. So it's I don't know. It's so weird to me that we're in this parody of reality where you have like very polished uh syndicate, right? Very polished gang, really good at what they're doing, is now saying like, hey, we have provided these services, which is stealing all your stuff, and then on top of it, making forum posts that bash your your C-suite and how they're taking care of or not taking care of your information, how they're not meeting our demands. And they're like, now they should pay us. And which is crazy. It's literally like uh what is it? Insurance, right? Like not legal insurance, but like, like in the movies, like Equalizer 3, where they go from shop to shop and they're like, hey, pay us or pay us to keep you safe. If you don't pay us, then we break your thumbs. You know what I mean? It's like, wait a minute, you're the problem, you're the threat. Like, so why should I pay you to not harm me? And that's what's currently happening. So I think it's going to confuse some people who are not really in the loop. They're going to be like, yeah, this because it seems as though these people provided a service to the company, which I mean, kind of like they did expose a lot of their inability to protect themselves, their
The
security is
deficiency.
laxing. Yeah, the
Yeah.
deficiencies, but
Yeah.
we didn't ask for that. That's unethical. You know what I mean? Like I didn't hire you to do that. I'm not going to pay you now that you found it. So it's crazy to me. They're the Kirby salesmen. They got their foot in the door. They vacuumed your floors. You didn't ask for it. Now they're like, now pay for this Kirby vacuum before we leave. Um, it's crazy world we live in. Mad world that we live in.
Yeah, for sure. So I got to make a correction to something I said earlier. It was 12%. I guess I'm dyslexic today, right? I said
Oh,
21%.
okay.
Those reports 12.
Still
So
high.
still high, yeah. From one gang, right? Like that's from one
Right.
gang in 2022. That's what they were responsible for. So
Yeah.
one ransomware gang. Let me specify that. Yeah.
Yeah, so Alvi is definitely putting themselves out there. So it'll be like a Revo or what have you. Like the big names will start going after them, DOJ, if they haven't already, right? The Permanent Justice, and whomever else will start to target them to try to take them down, in order for them to not be as resilient as they currently are, right? Like they are pretty much a powerhouse out there, in the wake of all the other syndicates that we've talked about in the past that have had some of their power stripped. But they're very bold. That's the crazy part about it. Like, 'cause, I mean, they're good at what they do, so I can see that as well. But it's the cockiness that I think is going to get them caught up. So
And the thing is, they're just begging for multinational attention, right? So like, and the reason I say this is because when you start going after big corporations, very seldom are they just in one country, right?
yeah,
Like they're not just, they may be headquartered somewhere, right? They could be headquartered, you know, in the UK, in America, in Australia, or whatever, but they almost inevitably, if they're large enough, they are multinational. And like it's just one of those things where it's like that the companies wherever they're headquartered at, they're like, hey, do you want this to come to your doorstep too? It's like, no, we kind of don't. You know what I mean?
right,
Like it's like helping Ukraine. Like Russia's not on our doorstep, but it's like, do we really want that? You know what I mean? So
right,
all these countries are providing aid because they're looking to what can happen in the future, right? And it just emboldens them, right? If you just let them get away with it, then they're just like, all right, well, we did it to this company. Let's go to this country now. You know what I mean? And do it.
right.
So
Right, right. And you just have to make it not worth their time because they've put in a lot of time and energy into this one. So if they don't get paid, it's a blow to their bottom line, which is so crazy. Like they're really a corporation. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if they have shareholders, but they definitely have, you know,
they're on the stock exchange.
yeah, they got an IPO
NYSE.
going.
What's
Yeah,
their NYSE ticker number? You know what I mean, or acronym. Yeah,
right.
no,
So
and it can cause dissension too, right? So like, if you go through all this work, you put three months of work in. Like the people that are doing the work are like, yeah, I'm going to get a good payday out of this, and all of a sudden nothing happens. Like they may not necessarily have a leader, right? Which some of them do have, like leaders, for their ransomware groups, but it just causes dissension in the ranks. They're like, look, I risked jail time, I risked getting caught, getting stuff confiscated, 3 months of my life, and I got nothing to show for it. You know what I mean? So it may be one of those things. It may be a mutiny. You know what I mean?
right, right. Yeah, a crazy world we live in. So more to come. Hopefully, uh, the corporation in question gets a breather. You know what I mean? Like it has been a long time of being under siege, basically. So hopefully they get a breather pretty soon and this starts to wind down because I can only imagine what 2024 is going to look like. Like it's steadily ramping up. So we'll see how we pull through the holidays and see if 2024 starts out with a bang. Hopefully it does not, but yeah, every year over year, it's getting worse. So definitely continue to tune in throughout the week. So Monday and Tuesday are topics. Wednesday's discussion. Thursday will be throwback. So we'll do something that's timely. Probably something to do either Alfie or Revo or something like that this week. And then Friday's everything else: movies, books, games, TV shows, all that stuff we've been tuning in. The GTA 6 trailer dropped. Got to talk about that. Um, Hit us up at all the websites that go by our name, and then you can hit me up personally. I'm at RYY Security Guy. It's RYRY Security Guy. You can find me on LinkedIn, Clubhouse, Twitter, and Threads. Stay safe, stay secure.